What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Overwatch's Season 3 of the Battle Pass is right around the corner, and there are going to be quite a few changes with the hero balances, some possible rework stuff. There's going to be a new map, possible new game mode. We'll talk about that a little bit later on, and a bunch of other things that are going to be added or changed with Season 3. And on top of that, we just got a couple of leaks for some of the content that's going to be included. So the first thing here is this image of Kiriko, and I can't quite tell if this is going to be a legendary. And a lot of people have pointed out that there seems to be quite a significant amount of detail in this particular skin that seems to go a little bit beyond a legendary, meaning that this could possibly be the mythic skin that is the final reward for the Battle Pass. Obviously, we only have this one image, so we don't know if there are other variations and whatnot, because if we could see another variation, then we would automatically know that it was a mythic, but since we don't, and this is what we have, then it could possibly just be a very detailed legendary, or it could be the mythic skin. Which one do you think it's going to be? Let me know down below. But then we also have this skin right here for Hanzo. He's very obviously supposed to be Cupid. This is going to be a Valentine's Day related type skin. Now, I don't know if this is going to be included in the Battle Pass, or if they're just going to try to sell it for 20 bucks when Valentine's Day comes around in the store, which is, an entirely a possibility. Might not even be in the Battle Pass. They might just throw it into the store and slap a $20... Actually, it would probably be like $23, $24, $25 or something like that. And they're probably going to include some other stuff like a voice line and maybe a spray or some other, one of those little, oh man, I can't even think of what they are. The dangly doodad bits, the weapon hanger things, whatever. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. I just completely blanked on what they're called. And so they're probably going to have some sort of Valentine's Day little thing in here. So that my guess is that's probably what this Hanzo skin's going to end up being. And it's going to be in the store, and it's not going to be a part of the Battle Pass itself. Kiriko is probably going to be a part of the Battle Pass. Moving on to more Season 3 content is a possible change to the Battle Pass itself. The Overwatch devs have continued to remark how they feel that something is kind of missing with the Overwatch Battle Pass, and a lot of players feel like they're not really achieving anything, and it's more like a grind. Now, they did make a change in Season 2, where they dropped the level requirement for the new character from level 55 down to 45, which, by the way, is still way, way too high. But they are trying to make some changes, and we might see something additional get added in or kind of moved around in Season 3 of the Battle Pass. What exactly this is going to be, they've been tight-lipped on it, and we don't specifically know what they're going to change, but hopefully at least it's a little bit better. And I do actually need to make another whole video about this, because the Overwatch Battle Pass is probably one of the worst Battle Passes in all of gaming. I mean, there are really microtransaction-heavy mobile games that have better Battle Passes than what Overwatch has, and that's really sad. But anyways, we might see some change to the Battle Pass itself. And speaking of new characters, the next two are supposed to be healers. However, we won't be getting either one of them in the next season's Battle Pass. Instead, I believe one of them is supposed to be Season 4, and then the other one is going to be Season 6. And I can't help but think that this is going to cause a significant reduction in the amount of people who are willing to buy the Battle Pass, because the overwhelming majority of people who want the Battle Pass get it because they want to play the new character right away. I mean, sure, some of them want the mythic skin or some of the other garbage that's included in the Battle Pass. And again, we already talked about this, but the Battle Pass is of low quality to begin with. And really the only selling point is that you have a new character. And when you don't have a new character in the Battle Pass, you're going to see a huge, huge drop-off of the people that are willing to buy it, because the rest of the Battle Pass is just garbage. So I don't know why they're doing this. From a financial perspective, it doesn't make any sense. And just from the ability to create a new character, it absolutely can be done. Like, Blizzard and the Overwatch dev team absolutely would be able to create a new character every 3 months. This is not a question. The problem is that half the people that work for Overwatch dev team are either stupid, lazy, or incompetent in some combination of that. And otherwise, they would be able, any other studio would be able to do this, but for whatever reason, Blizzard and the Overwatch dev team just can't seem to get their act together. Regardless, going back to the new map situation, it's possible that this could also be a new game mode, because we know when Overwatch 2 was supposed to be released as one big package with all the characters, the new maps, the PvP, the PvE, this and that, and everything together, there was supposed to be 2 new game modes. The first one is Push, which is garbage, and most people hate even more than 2 Capture Point. I probably need to make a video about that. But anyways, that was the first game mode, and the second one is very much hidden, and Blizzard hasn't said anything about it other than it actually exists. And a couple of the maps were redesigned specifically for that, because some of those other maps, the new maps that they had been working on, were supposed to be for the 2 Capture Point game mode, but when they decided to get rid of it, they converted those maps into the unreleased ones into some new game mode that we don't know anything about. And Aaron Keller actually let this slip accidentally during a live stream or something, where he said, yeah, this whatever map was supposed to be a 2 Capture Point, and then we changed it to the new game mode that isn't Push. And then he realized very quickly, oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. So we know that there's a new hidden game mode that they've never talked about other than that one accident little slip there, and it's not Push. So we're getting a new map. It's possible it could be a new game mode, and considering the amount of people that dislike the Push game mode, I wouldn't be surprised if they say, okay, we're just going to release something else to try to, take the fire away from the Push game mode, so give people something that they actually want to play. We don't know, though. So, new map, definitely, possibly new game mode. Moving on, let's quickly run through the hero balance and rework changes we can expect in Season 3. First up is Roadhog. He just got a bunch of nerfs to his combo, so he's a lot less effective than he was before. It still kind of works, but not really. But those were just effectively nerfs to the character. They changed, how much damage and this and that and whatever. But what they're going to do in Season 3 is more of a functional rework to the character so that the combo just isn't the big problem that it had been for a long time. So we got some of those changes, but now we're going to get an actual rework. Also, Reinhardt is going to get some pretty significant buffs, and they said that they're going to change how Fire Strike works. Now, I don't know if this is just going to be, extra damage or something, or maybe if you can have multiple Fire Strikes that get thrown out at once, or what they're going to do. Reinhardt definitely needs a lot of help, because the way Overwatch 2 works is you don't need that dedicated tank character anymore. Instead, now the teams that are most effective are the ones that have 2 regular DPS and 1 fat DPS, because really that's what Roadhog and Zarya and some of the other, they're called tanks, but they're not tanks anymore. They're effectively bruisers. They're just fat DPS, because that old traditional tank role from Overwatch 1 just isn't needed anymore, and it doesn't work, which is why Reinhardt is falling so far behind everybody else. So he's going to get some pretty significant changes. Now, for Season 4, this is a little bit, Season 3, Ramatra is probably going to get some small changes to his ultimate. Basically, they're going to put a timer on it, and that's how they're going to do it. Make it so that it doesn't last infinitely anymore, and that's what they're going to do for Season 3. However, in Season 4, we're kind of moving ahead a little bit here, but Ramatra probably will get a bigger rework on his ultimate, so it kind of changes the way how it works, as opposed to just having that extra timer. And also, another character that's supposed to be getting a pretty significant rework in Season 4 is Brigitte. And specifically, she's going to get an entirely new ultimate, because the one she has currently is garbage. As soon as they changed it away from armor to the new stuff, it had limited use before, and now it's just trash. And Brigitte is really just kind of a trash character at this point. But anyways, Season 3, we might see some small changes to Ramatra and Brig. Season 4, much bigger changes, possibly reworks to at least parts of those characters. One final thing that I wanted to mention that isn't related to Season 3 or the Battle Pass at all is that Overwatch and all Blizzard games are now not allowed to be played in China. And this is because Blizzard was not able to renegotiate whatever agreement they had. So in case you didn't know, in order to play games in China, in order to run your games, then you need to have an agreement with a Chinese gaming publisher. And those publishers are partly owned by the Chinese government, and they have all this kind of, extra requirements, and they censor this and that and whatever. So you basically have to agree to everything that they're doing, and you have to give up partial ownership for all the operations in China in order to this. Anyways, so when these companies like Blizzard operate over there, they have to basically agree, and they have to pander to the Chinese government. They have to pander to the Chinese censors, and they have to agree to all these things, which is why certain content from Blizzard games over the years have been changed or outright removed. You know, there are certain things that are just not allowed to be released in China, and it's not specific to Overwatch either. They do this for all their games. So Blizzard, over the years, has been pandering to the Chinese government as much as they possibly can in order to continue getting their games over there, and yet, whatever reason, the Chinese government, working through these publishers, decided that they just don't want Blizzard operating there anymore, and now Blizzard cannot play any of their games in China, which means that they are going to lose billions and billions of dollars. Even though they've spent all these years pandering to the Chinese government, they are now not going to be allowed to have their games over there, which I think is absolutely hilarious.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit, I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and